I am going to share with you guys what the end of a homeschool week looks like for us. Basically, the maintenance side. So we have a place where we put all of our completed work every day. My son takes it out of his binder and puts it in his personal cubby. And then at the end of every week, I take those papers out of the personal cubby and then I put them into his yearly binder. And it's everything that he's going to be doing in first grade. I put it all into one binder so it can stay together. So I also have it separated by monthly tabs, although these are numbered tabs, so I just put the 7th here because we started in July all the way to 12 because I couldn't get the monthly ones yet. But I'm going to show you guys all of that and more on this video.
Hey guys.
All right, this says year 2. It's technically first grade, but it's his second year of school, which is why it says year 2. This is his binder. I just made this in Canva, and then this is tabbed out. I have it also tabbed here by art, his testing, writing, language arts, and math, and then the notes that I make on all of his work. So the first thing I do is I go through and I'll hole punch. These are already hole punched, even though this one's kind of messed up. So I'm actually gonna re-hole punch on this side and put it in the proper section. So these are gonna be language arts, more language arts. I do try to keep them in date order. So this is the 22nd, this is the 22nd, this is the 24th, this is the 22nd. Here's some more language arts. This is the 20th, also the 20th, also the 20th and the 20th. So for language arts, I go over to the language arts tab right here and put it in order. So this is the 16th. So we're just gonna add the 20th because that was the next day that we did work. So next is math, and these are our notes. And there's only right now one math worksheet in here. That's from the 16th. So I'm just gonna go and put this in order: the 21st, the 21st, the 21st, and the 21st. Those are the only days we did math, although we did do math today, but it was on the computer or the iPad. We did the Beast Academy on there. And then this I'm actually gonna put in the art pile, even though it does have the numbers, because it was working on his coloring. All right, so that goes in the art section. This is an incomplete art, but it is an art nonetheless. He didn't really love this one, and I think it was just because all the colors were so similar and it was just really hard trying to match the colors to look good. Next, we have a field trip review. I wrote out what he dictated to me, and we're gonna make a new section for field trips in the notes section for now. And we also have some pictures I printed out behind here. I'm not gonna show them because it has my kids' faces on there, but we're gonna go ahead and hole punch and put this behind all of the notes. And then on the notes, we're gonna go into my planner. On the notes, we're gonna go into, bless you, buddy. We're gonna go into the planner I'm using and get all the notes I wrote this week. I wrote notes every day, and we're gonna make sure they're all hole punched. We're gonna stick them in. So the last ones in here are from the 16th. Then we have the Wild Robot Chapter 2 notes. All right, and those are all the notes. And that is what I do with the work for Ezra. Next week, I'll come back and do the exact same thing, and I'm going to show you what I do with his artwork. So this is Ezra's art notebook. We just use a pen and gear notebook, and we put things like this in here, little worksheets. All right, so I got the 2 pieces of art he did this week. He drew a bicycle and he drew a popsicle. So the way that I keep these is I just take either a glue stick, which is what I'm going to use today, or I will use a double-sided tape, and I don't have any more because I used it all. So and then these are actually scissor cutting activities that he did, but he did color them, and they don't really have a place to go in our binder, so we put them in here alongside some of the actual coloring book pages that he does. This is ice cream that he drew, and I think a person. And then this is another cut and paste activity, so I put those in here. All of these are cut and paste activities, and then some stuff he drew, and then another cut and color activity. So that is what we do for art, and that is all of the art that we have this week. All right, and this is for my daughter. I'm not as organized with hers because this really isn't an actual curriculum year. This is just fun things that we did. So I don't write a lot of notes for her, but sometimes I do. And when I do, I will stick those here. Then we have her I Spy activity. These are kind of in order. Some of them don't have dates on them. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't matter too much. But the ones we did this week definitely have dates, which is really nice because I do like to have dates so I can kind of see the progression throughout the year. These already have hole punches, thankfully. So we'll just stick them in here. All right, these are all hole punch. They're all put into her binder. That is all the work she did this week. That's done. And then I have her artwork binder, or her artwork notebook. And it has not much in it because she doesn't do a lot of free drawing, but we are going to stick this in here. So, because this is like a free art drawing thing. All right, I have it glued. We're just gonna.
Oh, that is cute.
It is cute. I was gonna show you guys, this is our read aloud notebook. So every time we read a book, I will print out a picture of it and make a little note. Sometimes I don't make a note. It really just depends. But these are all the books that we read this week. It's how we keep track of what we're reading. These are books we read and finished. And if we didn't end up finishing it, or we finished most of it, I'll put it in here and just say we didn't finish it all. We also have a unit study that we're doing, and these don't go into his workbook. They are strictly unit study, and so it has its own little thing, and I'm going to do that for all of our unit studies. And right now we've only done like one sheet, plus he colored this page, but we're learning about rocks and minerals. And in lesson 1, you know, he learned that they're big and strong. They can be bumpy, they can be flat, they can be different colors, different sizes, different shapes, that kind of thing. And then the rest of these pages, I just glued these in here from the curriculum that got sent to us, and then we will actually go through with it later. And then all I do for my planner is I will go into July here, and I'll do a full planner walkthrough soon. And I update and make sure that everything that we've done this week is in here. I will say I already went through, these are all the books we've read together. This one's not finished, so it doesn't have a check mark. It's a chapter book, so we're still reading it. This is Ezra's independent reading log, and then this is Bella's independent reading log. And then I'll just go over here. This is today. We went to the Cade Museum for a field trip, and he did the Beast Academy app this morning. He did really good on that. I looked and I was able to see what he got right and what he got wrong. And then he also did the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts lesson 25 and Dash into Learning page 18 letter M. These are both the kindergarten books because we didn't ever finish them for kindergarten. And then that's all we really did today, I believe. I don't think we did any other work today. So I'm gonna highlight this. This is all Ezra. I will highlight the field trip in this color. This is the color of things we did together. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in to see how I organize the end of the week. And I will be back to show you guys so much more. Have a great night. If you enjoy videos like this, definitely subscribe. I'll be sharing more. Hope you guys have a great weekend.